Are you ready?
This video is brought to you by Southern Comfort Eggnog. What's going on, world? What's cracking, gang? What's the deal? It's everybody's favorite Unc. And today, we are finally going to do my personal top 10 figures of 2023.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to kind of think of how I wanted to do this video. You know, I've been watching other people's top 10s and seeing the different methods that everybody kind of employs as far as how they present their top 10 list. But I'm just gonna give it to you raw, man. I'm gonna give you guys some honorable mentions. I'm gonna give you guys my top 10, and then we're gonna get out of here, man. But before we get into it, I wanna lay some ground rules. Rule number 1 is that it has to be a figure that I bought this year. I am not gonna add any figures that I don't have, because to me that's cheating. It has to be all figures that I bought and that I own this year. Rule number 2, this is only for 1/12 to 1/10 scale action figures, so 6 to 7 inch action figures. No other scales allowed. That's basically all I collect. Rule number 3, third party is allowed, because third party kicked some ass this year. And rule number 4, no wrestling figures. I'm gonna do a completely separate list on my top 10 wrestling figures as well. So hopefully you stick around on the channel for that one. And remember, this is my personal list. So go ahead and put your list in the comments down below. Let's get this party started. Let's go! Alright guys, now so much shit came out this year, man. It was really hard to whittle down the list at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with some honorable mentions. So coming in with my first honorable mention, it's gonna be the SH Figurearts Turles, or Tulis, however you want to say it. I know a lot of people that watch this channel will probably have him a little bit higher. I'm not gonna lie guys, when I first got the figure, I was a tidbit disappointed because I thought that the colors were a bit off. I feel like there should have been more purple in his armor. I feel like the colors didn't 100% match the accuracy of the movie. And I had a QC issue where one of the arms kept falling off, so it was kind of a pain in the ass. But overall, he's a beautiful figure, man, and the accessories that he comes with are awesome. The cape, you get that nice blast effect as well. So I couldn't make a list without giving the SH Figuarts Turles a little bit of a mention. Like I said, he might be higher for a lot of you guys. For the next honorable mention, we're gonna go to McFarlane Toys, which I barely collect at all. I don't really collect at all, but I am a Spawn fan, and I had to pick up that Spawn and Batman 2-pack. And man, the Spawn from this pack is so awesome. He didn't make it on the list simply because he's just a repaint of other Spawn body molds, but I think this is one of the best Spawns that we've ever gotten from McFarlane. I'd probably put him a little bit higher if I collected more 7-inch stuff, but I just don't. But I do enjoy Spawn, and this is a great representation of the character. Here's to hope when we get a re-release of another definitive version of Spawn with the red on the inside of the M. But this figure's great. If you don't have this 2-pack, definitely pick it up. And just missing the top 10, coming in as my last honorable mention, is the formerly Kong Studios, now Beast Deities, Super Saiyan 5, Xeno, Goku. As far as aesthetic goes, this thing is awesome. The hair looks fucking great. The paint is amazing. He comes with a great spread of accessories. Just an awesome looking action figure. And you can see it behind me here on the set. I mean, that thing will stick out on the shelf and will be a conversation piece. And I think he really deserves more credit, especially since this new batch of Super Saiyan 5 Gokus that have come out, the 3.0 bodies, they're having a lot of QC issues. The biggest issue with the original Xeno Super Saiyan 5 Goku from Kong, to me, was the articulation. Some of the joints feel kind of springy or gummy, for lack of a better term, and it's not really the funnest figure to handle, but man, is he a looker. So I had to put the Beast Deities Xeno Super Saiyan 5 Goku in my honorable mentions. Alright, let the games begin. We're getting into the top 10, and we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's get it cracking. Coming in at number 10, I feel like it would have been sacrilegious for me not to have any G.I. Joe Classified on this list. So coming in at number 10 is going to be the G.I. Joe Classified series Rock and Roll. Yes, I know there were so many contenders this year that could have been in the top 10 list from G.I. Joe Classified. You had Snow Job that everybody's talking about, Low Light, and a few other figures as well. The new Dreadnoks that came out at Target. I didn't pick up any of those figures yet, so the one G.I. Joe Classified figure that I did pick up that I just adore is Rock and Roll. There is so much attitude and soul in this figure, man. A lot of people complain about the tattoos. I like the tattoos. I love the helmet and the hang ten on it as a skater. I love the surfer vibes, man. The rock and roll hand and the spread of accessories that comes with this man is just chef's kiss, man. G.I. Joe Classified, that is one of the strong suits of this line. They pack these damn accessories in, from the bullets to the big submachine gun or whatever it is, his helmet, everything about this guy I love. Could be a little bit higher, but I don't have the biggest nostalgia for G.I. Joe Classified. I never really watched it or read the comics as a kid. I just think they're kick-ass action figures, and this is exactly what I want in an Army Man type of figure. So number 10 is G.I. Joe Classified series, Rock and Roll. And for number 9, another one that might be higher on you guys' list, we're gonna go with the Jada Toys Ryu. Now, what is there to say about Jada Toys that hasn't been said about their Street Fighter line? Good Lord, spoiler alert, there's gonna be some more on this list from this line, but this Ryu figure to me is hands down the definitive version of Ryu. I think this is a perfect example of a toy company giving you exactly what you need, nothing more, nothing less. You get his Hadouken effect, you get his Hadouken hands, you get fists, and you get excellent articulation. The one thing holding this guy back was those butterfly joints, man. They just can't bend all the way in to connect his hands for the Hadouken. Hopefully, they improve that moving forward. It's kind of unavoidable with that gi, but other than that, this thing is awesome. Paint is great, the likeness is awesome. If you haven't picked up any of the Jada Toys Street Fighter figures, I would recommend picking this one up out of all of them because he is kind of the most well-known Street Fighter character. So coming in at number 9 is going to be Ryu from Jada Toys. Alright, for number 8, we're taking it back to the battlefield, and we got some Valorverse Action Force. We got number 8, the Valorverse Action Force Bloody Pandora variant, the Valorverse.com exclusive. Man, let me tell you guys, I am not a huge Valorverse collector, but I hopped into the line on Series 3, and luckily for me, this figure had not been released yet, and I was able to pre-order one and get one. This thing is awesome. I said it before in a previous video about this figure, but she reminds me of the type of figure that when you go to sleep at night, she wakes up and she just wreaks havoc on all your shelves. Everything about this figure just invokes so much emotion, and the blood. Come on, man. The blood. The blood is what we're all here for, man. The blood looks awesome. And once again, another company that does not skimp out on the accessories. Action Force always makes sure that you get a good spread of accessories. And the cool thing about this one is all the accessories are splattered with blood. I also got the upgrade kit for her as well from Series 3.1. I should have ordered more because you have a 3-in-1 chance of getting the bloody head for her, but these heads look awesome on her as well. Overall, just a well done action figure. You can tell that there was care and love baked into every corner of this woman, and I love it, man. So coming in at number 8 is going to be the Valorverse Action Force Bloody Pandora variant. All right, we're getting into the heavy hitters, man, and coming in at number 7, man, another one that could have been higher. And honestly, when I was making my list, I had this one higher at certain points, but he just had to drop down a little bit because the competition was so stiff this year. Coming in at number 7 is going to be NECA. That's right, we're going to the NECA Dungeons and Dragons line, Strongheart. Good Lord, what is there to say about Strongheart? I am a sucker for all things medieval and high fantasy, and this figure just scratches that itch so great. I love every single piece of this figure, man. The cape is so cool, and for a cape that's not wired, it holds its positioning very nicely, and you can make it look windswept. You can kind of give it that illusion. The paint is great. Everything that NECA does with these Dungeons and Dragons figures is top of the line. The paint is great. There's not a flaw on this figure. It just looks so awesome, and it takes you back to a time that you weren't alive for, to a time that your parents probably weren't alive for. I feel like this takes me all the way back to the medieval days, like I'm about to shit in a bucket and throw it out of a window or something. The hammer that he comes with is great. I like the feathers on top of the helmet, and you can also pull down the helmet onto his face. That's a cool feature as well, man. And with that helmet lifted up, he's got that mustache. Lord knows I love a great mustache. What is there to say about Strongheart, man? If you want to get a medieval knight type of figure, I highly recommend Strongheart for your collection. Number 7, NECA Dungeons and Dragons Strongheart. Coming in at number 6 and just missing the top 5 is coming from Tamashii Nations and SH Figurearts. It is the Elden Ring Festering Fingerprint Fight figure. Now guys, when I got this figure earlier this year, potentially he was going to be my figure of the year. I am a huge Elden Ring stan. I beat the game twice. I love it to death. Miyazaki is a genius, and anything he does, I will have to have some part of, some type of memorabilia, play it, watch it, whatever. But this figure, man, for a knighted figure to have this type of armor and have the range of motion that this figure has is so amazing. They did so many innovative things on this figure, from the way that the neck joint moves back and forth to give you the illusion of an ab crunch, to the way that they painted it to give it that illusion of it being that rusted metal, but it's still plastic. I mean, this thing looks so good. The one drawback of this figure is that the effect piece, although it looks awesome, is very heavy. So when you put it onto his spear, sometimes it tends to sag a little bit. And those wrist pegs that Tamashii Nations likes to use, since they're so thin, they don't do the best job of holding up that weapon with the effect piece, which is really a bummer because the effect piece is awesome. But man, there's nothing really bad that I can say about this figure. If you're an Elden Ring fan, a Dark Souls fan, Soulsborne fan, whatever, medieval fan, just like I said for Strongheart, give this figure a try. Here's hoping Tamashii Nations gives us more Elden Ring content, because Vika's looking lonely over there on the shelf. I can't wait for Melania. Hopefully we get Radon. Hopefully we get Godfrey, Ronnie, all these other characters. I'm really excited to see where this line goes. So coming in at number 6, just missing the top 5, is going to be the SH Figurearts Festering Fingerprint Fight. All right, we're coming up on the top 5, and I hope you're keeping tally at home. And if you are keeping tally at home, put your list below. Join the discussion. Tell me what you think of my list so far. But let's not waste any more time. We about to get into the top 5, baby. Rounding out the top 5 at number 5, another banger from Tamashii Nations. We are looking at the SH Figurearts Kid Naruto. Now guys, I was so fucking surprised when I picked this figure up. I was not expecting to pick this figure up. It wasn't on my list at all. I was just in GameStop one day and I saw him and I was like, you know what? I might as well pick up Kid Naruto. And man, did I make the right decision, man. This thing is a joy to handle. When you talk about like a perfect pocket figure, that's what this is, man. It just feels so fun to pose around, and the range of motion is so great. Tamashii Nations, man, they're just getting so good at engineering the articulation and not sacrificing the sculpt on these figures, because this figure looks amazing. And one thing about this figure that really catches my eye is the faceplates. The faceplates are some of the best all year, especially that tailed beast face that they gave him. Oh my god, man, seriously, you can do no wrong with this figure. I love it to death, and I would highly recommend anybody out there that's a Naruto fan to get this figure, man. I still wasn't able to pick up Orochimaru or Obito yet. I still haven't even got Kakashi. I need to get Kakashi. That was last year. But Orochimaru and Obito are going to be general release. So I don't normally rush to pre-order general release stuff. I just kind of wait till it hits the stores. But since I was able to get this Kid Naruto, man, I'm telling you right now, of all the Naruto figures this year that I bought, this one, to me, takes the cake. So coming in at number 5 is the SH Figurearts Kid Naruto. All right, we're getting into crunch time, guys, and coming in at number 4, you see him behind me, and I'm telling you, these third-party companies are on y'all's ass, is the Demoniacal Fit Martialist Forever. That's right, the 3.0 Goku. Listen, this is the best Goku action figure of all time, period. Like I said with Naruto, I have not been able to pick up the legendary Super Saiyan Goku yet, so I don't know. Maybe that's the best Goku figure of all time, but like I said, general release, I'll get it when it hits Barnes & Noble. But this figure right here, if you do not have this Goku figure and you're looking for a definitive Goku, don't buy anything else. Get it right now. Like literally, pause this video, go to 5K Toys, and buy this figure, because I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Every day on Reddit, I see people in the Figurearts thread like, oh, what's the best Goku to get? Is it, is it the full power Super Saiyan Goku? Is it, Saiyan raised on Earth? Is it Goku Blue? No. The Demoniacal Fit Martialist Forever is the best Goku to get. I'm not even going to get into why it's so great because I just reviewed it like maybe 3 weeks ago. And this is not recency bias. This is because this is one of the greatest anime characters of all time. And this is one of the best action figures of this year. Coming in at number 4 is the Demoniacal Fit Marchless Forever. Go buy it right now. Oh, by the way, I just want to say to everybody like shitting on Demoniacal Fit, they're still king. They're still third-party king. Like Beast Deities, they're doing their thing. Tonson Toys, he's doing his thing. But let's be real here. Demoniacal Fit is still king. All right, coming in at number 3, another one that I bought because I thought it looked cool and didn't expect to fall in love with this figure, and that is the NECA Wuke. This figure for me was my figure of the year for a very long time this year, and it just barely got beat by 2, to me, superior figures. But man, what is there to say about this figure, man? It looks stunning. The NECA Wuke looks stunning, from the paint and the way the colors pop to when you put the flame effect piece on the sword, and that gives it that extra dimension of color, and the dry brushing and the washes and the detail and the musculature and the armor. Everything about this figure has so much soul. And this is what I love about action figures, is when you take it out of the package and you just say, wow. And that's how I felt when I opened up this figure. Now we know NECA doesn't have the best articulation, but what you get with this figure, and with Strongheart as well, is you get a litany of accessories, you get the highest quality of paint, the most minute attention to detail. Everything about this figure is almost perfect in my opinion. The way that the chain is connected to him for one of his little daggers, I mean everything, man. This figure, like, it looks like it could come alive on your shelf just like Pandora does. And that's what I love about action figures, man. The one downside about NECA figures is you do have to warm them up. You have to heat them up to kind of, get them rocking and rolling. And my copy of Wuke, his wrist is getting a little bit loose now. But man, I love this figure to death. Not the biggest for playability are these figures, because you're not going to be like posing them around all the time. Most of the time I have them like one pose for, months at a time. But you want to talk about one of the best looking action figures of the year, especially retail action figures of the year. Man, the NECA Wuke well deserves to be in the top 3, maybe arguably even higher. Alright guys, it's time for the top 2. Have you put your list in the comments below? If you haven't, drop that bad boy down below. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. What do you think about my list so far? I know there's no Mayfex on here. I know there's no Mezco on here. There's no Hot Toys on here. That's because I don't collect those things. This is what I collect, baby. And that's what makes the community special, is that we're all different. And we all collect differently. So let's get into these top 2 and see what we got. Alright guys, I flip-flopped really hard on these 2 for the last couple weeks, and I think I've made the decision. So coming in at my number 2 spot is a figure that was my most anticipated figure of the year, and also the most expensive figure I bought all year. And that is, from Tamashii Nations, the SH Figurearts Metal Cooler. Now guys, like I said, most expensive figure I bought all year. I think the price was a wee bit too high, but for what you get for that price, man, the chrome, the vacuum chrome, whatever you call it on this figure, it looks amazing. You can see your reflection in it. The articulation is perfect. The figure came lubed up out of the box, which was a little weird, but that actually helped with poses and switching pieces in and out. This is such a fun action figure overall. And again, this is another one of those figures that's going to be a conversation piece when people come into your house and look at it. I do hope that moving forward, Tamashii Nations does give us a repainted version of this for, maybe a retail price, so we can army build, because, people want to army build Metal Cooler because that's what this character is. He's an army builder. Like, Metal Cooler duplicated himself, and he was an army that Goku and Vegeta fought. So hopefully we do get that. Hopefully we get the repaint of the base form Cooler using the same body mold, and people can kind of hop in on it more, because it really is a great figure, man. And one of Tamashii Nation's best efforts overall this year. I don't collect a whole lot of other stuff from them besides Dragon Ball, Naruto, Berserk, Elden Ring. But yeah, man, dude, this is literally hands down, I would say it's safe to say probably one of the top 5 to 10 releases ever in the history of this line. And it's going to go down as one of the most sought after figures for a while and one of the most expensive. So coming in at number 2 is the SH Figurearts Metal Cooler. Go watch the review. I just did it last week, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them. But yeah, an awesome action figure. Well deserves to be in the top 3. And coming in at number 1, there can only be one.
It starts with one.
Number 1, and my number 1 figure of the year is the Jada Toys Street Fighter Chun-Li. Oh man, where do I start, man? Where do I start? First of all, we all love a thick action figure. Shout out Articulated Ninja, but we all love a thick action figure, and that's for damn sure. But this woman, sometimes guys, simplicity is key. Less is more. $25 figure, extra pair of hands, stand, attack effect. Super simple offering, great packaging, low price, premium action figure. This figure, man, I'm telling you, dude, Jada Toys, the fact they're able to make figures this good at this price point. I mean, you look at like Dragon Stars, for instance. Dragon Stars are $25 and they can barely do the splits. This Chun-Li figure can literally get into any pose, humanly or non-humanly possible. And I've tried it, trust me. Oh, I've tried it. Let me tell you right now, man, this right here, to me is the best Street Fighter figure of all time. I've never owned the SH Figurearts ones. I owned some of the Soda Toys ones back in the day. I've never owned any of the Storm Collectibles ones. I don't collect that scale. But this right here, for my money, is the best Street Fighter figure ever made. Chun-Li is my second favorite character. First is Cammy, so she has a soft spot in my heart. But man, I just have so much fun with this figure. And the reason I put this figure number 1 is because more than any other figure I bought this year, I find myself going to my shelf that she's on and just moving her around and putting her in a different pose. And right now I have her posed up with Wolverine on some Capcom vs. SNK or Capcom vs. Marvel type stuff. And every now and then I'll just go over and just change up the fighting pose that they're in, and I do it with her more than any other figure on my shelf. So that's when I said to myself, I was like, man, I actually play with this toy more than any other toy. I went to DC with my girlfriend recently, and the 2 figures I bought were Ryu and Chun-Li. And I don't really bring figures everywhere with me like that, but I just bought them to have something to play with. So yeah, man, I can't say enough about the Jada Toys Chun-Li. I'm really excited to see what Jada Toys is going to offer us this coming year. I know we've got Vega coming up soon. We've got Sagat coming up soon. We got Blanca coming up soon. We all saw the leaks. So I'm really excited about this line, man. And hopefully they continue to impress and innovate and push the competition to do better, man, because they are really kicking everybody's ass right now. Between them and third-party companies, I mean, man, some of the bigger guys like Hasbro, Tamashii Nations, or Bandai, Mattel, man, you guys got some competition. But anyway, that's my top 10 list, guys. I appreciate you rocking with me this year, man. We've had a great year this year, man. The channel has grown a lot. The collection's grown a lot. And if you're watching this, man, just know that I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Sub to the channel if you want. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Just know I always appreciate you watching. And until next time, peace.